Hey, this is Lauren with TMF Apparel USA, and today I'm going to do a couple DTF prints here for some shirts that I have to make. So I thought I would take you along for the ride, show you how I do the DTF start to finish, try to do this in a single take. We'll see if we can pull that off, and hopefully this will help you guys out. Also, if you have comments or questions about anything about the t-shirt business, DTG, DTF, heat transfer vinyl, sublimation, I've kind of done all that, so leave your comment below, and I can either make a video response to it, or I'll just comment back in the comments below. So let's get this started. First thing we're going to do is grab a DTF sheet here. We're going to make sure that we're printing on the matte side and not the shiny side of it. I'm going to be using my Freejet for this one, so I'm going to place it onto my platen. I'm going to kind of center it up, because I like to center all my designs in my software. And I'm going to do is put a little piece of tape on the bottom of this just to keep it from moving, like so. Now I'm going to do an auto height adjustment to make sure that we're at the correct height to print. Now we're set to print. We're going to set up our file in the software. All right, so we're sending this on over, and I'm going to pull this in a little closer so we can watch it actually print. I'm going to record this in real time. So we're doing 3 layers total. So since this design is white, black, and white, it's going to put down all white and black first, then it's going to go back and back the entire thing with white. And we're going to put this on a military green shirt. So that's our first layer done. Second layer backing here. And I'm doing this because I wanted to have a little bit less ink laid down on the first pass so that it will hopefully dry a little quicker on the film itself. While having a nice thick layer, we just do 2 back-to-back layers. The last layer will be the underbase, so that'll print white choked across the entire image. And we're actually going to have a pause here in between those two. Now if you're running something like a P600 or P800 or a 3880 that prints wet on wet, you could pump this design out in one pass. I haven't quite mastered that with the 3880 over there yet, and the Freejet doesn't offer that, so this is how I'm going to print this one. I do kind of like it in a sense to where I can print it lighter and go back over it, and if I need to add more I can. And I give it a little look. I mean, right now that white is pretty wet. The black is also pretty darn wet. So we're going to give that about 30 seconds and hit it one more time. All right, I let it sit for about 30 seconds, and we're going to go back over it and pound it again with some white. And that's really just to back the black. It's nice to have a white underbase behind that black ink when we put it on a colored shirt like, you know, anything other than white, basically. All right, so that's our print there. Our white ink is quite saturated. It's probably a little bit runny at the point where it sits now. So we're going to give that a minute here before we move it. I could probably knock down my white underbase, and it would give me a little bit more movability. So I'm going to pause this, and we'll come back here in about 60 seconds. All right, now I'm going to put some powder on it. What I did is I picked up this covered baking pan, put my powder in the bottom of it like so. Then I take my transfer and I just kind of feed it through this powder like so. Scoop it up, let it really cover it like this. Shake it out, knock the powder off the back, and we're going to take this and place it directly under our press. And now I'm going to do a hover. I'm going to back this guy up, and we're going to do a hover press here for about 2 minutes. I'm going to lower this down so that we can see what I have happening. Right about here. So what we're going to do is just let it hover. Now I can honestly go down a little farther. Knock that down. We want to melt the powder. It'll feel almost kind of rubbery when we're done melting it. So we're going to come back to this in about 2 minutes. All right, so our 2 minutes is up. I'm going to raise this up real quick. This is our transfer right here. This is the printed side. Now, if you were buying pre-made transfers, this is how they would ship them to you. And the back side here, it's still a little bit tacky. It kind of feels almost rubbery to an extent. So what we're going to do is take our shirt. What I like to do to center them is I like to do a fold like so. Let me see if I can get a good view of this. Grab right here under the arms like this, and then fold it to the center like so. Then I take this guy here, fold it over, I'll give it a quick press, put a little center mark in our shirt. So if you're having trouble centering your designs, this is a great way to do it. Now when I unfold it, I have a nice T right in the middle. That is center chest for any of your designs. Now, what I'm going to do is, because we're using the DTF film, so I'd like to use a little pillow cushion underneath it. I have one floating around here somewhere. Go. Just to make sure I get a nice even press on my shirt. Right here we have our design. We're going to press this bad boy right onto her. That's going to knock off a little of the excess that's not on the ink. Now, another thing you can do with your design, fold it over and put a crease in that. Now you have a center crease on your design as well. Line those up off the height there that I normally like to do. Give that guy a nice lockdown press. They usually say 15 seconds, so that's about where I'm at right there. Take her off the heat. Tell you what, I'm going to move this out of the way. Set it back on my little table here, little workbench. And now you just have to let it cool. So you can shake it out. I just like to give it a little touch. Once you're cool, you're good to peel. As such, there's nothing left on our transfer. Everything is on our shirt. Now we take the shirt, flip it over here. We're going to do one more press for good measure, just to make sure that that stuff is nice and baked in. You can do another 10 seconds or so. And that's it. That one's done. So, start to finish, doing one shirt, I'm at roughly 12 minutes here. And, you know, 12 minutes to print one small shirt like that, that's a lot of time. That's a lot. I mean, you're looking at 5 shirts an hour at that rate. However, if I had printed a gang of those, if I needed to print, say, 20 of these shirts, I could probably fit 6 on each DTF sheet and print those all at one time. Or if you were running like, you know, a roll sheet or regular feed printer, print them all at once. You could powder them all at once. You could melt the powder all at once, and then you're just cutting them and pressing them. So for doing that, it's great. If you just have one shirt to do, that takes a lot of time. I could have pre-treated that shirt, printed it faster than that. I could have also done that design in HTV faster than 12 minutes for sure. So really it's kind of pick your poison. And that's why I think it's good that we have the options. If you have a DTG printer, the option to do this, for one, is great. But also just in this business, keep yourself a little bit open. Don't trap yourself in just one method. It can be very time consuming. You know, if you were printing a gang of sheets like that and they didn't turn out great, you just wasted. That transfer could be, you know, $1, $1.50, $2, depending on where you buy it. So keep that in mind, cost effective wise, as to what it runs. Now, for me to run that shirt through DTG, you know, maybe 6-7 minutes to pre-treat it, set it up, load the file, print it, press it. You know, your press time's a little longer. So it's a give and take. So figure out what's best for you. My opinion, open yourself up to all of the options and pick what's the most efficient for the job at hand. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any other questions, leave a comment below. Hit that like button because I need likes. And if you want to subscribe, that's cool. I'm going to keep making more content. Till next time.